the kind of inciting incident that starts to shift your trajectory is this Air Force guy that comes into your life, right? Mm-hmm. Like you develop this obsession with the military.
Right.
And then you meet this dude who survived that parachuting.
Right. You know, it was nuts, man.
Parachuting gone very wrong, and you become obsessed with this guy. And that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like the first sort of glimmer of hope that you might find your way in a different, you know,
so
path.
Like I talked about a lot, it started off with the Rocky and Rambo movies.
Right.
You know, those are kind of like my fathers when I was coming up. But then when I finally met this guy named Scott Guerin, this guy that fell off it, you know, he had a parachute accident. A guy crashed through his parachute, and he fell 13,000 feet, pretty much to his death because his parachute collapsed, and he fell 120 miles an hour to the ground. I mean,
that picture in the book of
it's
him
disgusting, right? And so he hit the ground, and I met him a couple years later at this CAP, Civil Air Patrol camp, and I'm sitting there, and no kid was like amazed by him. You know, it was like, okay, this is a great story. I'm a kid, let's go. I'm sitting there, he comes out, and I was amazed by Rambo. Like at a young age, I was like, oh my God, this is the real Rambo. He came out, he had, you know, he got his throat cut open to, you know, to open up his airway. And so I saw he got trached, and I saw all these different things. I was like, my God, he came out talking all like Clint Eastwood, and he shared the story, and it's all hardcore. And I started following this guy, but he didn't know I was following him. So for a week long, he did push-ups and flutter kicks, and all. I was like, man, that is the real Rambo.
Why do you think it connected with you and not with the other kids? Like, what was it inside of you that was, you know, obviously searching for somebody like that?
I was looking for strength my entire life. I didn't have any. I was a really weak kid. My dad beat the living shit out of me and I was strong as a young kid. But me protecting my mom for so many years in that house, my dad made me very afraid because he beat the shit out of me every time I went at him. Mm-hmm. So in that, every man wants courage. Every man wants strength. At least this one does. So I found it in every way possible. And when I see a strong guy, I was like, okay, maybe he can teach me. So he didn't know anything about me. So time went on, I left school, you know, and then this guy was in my mind. We had zero money, man. Like at one time, we lived in a $7 a month place, government subsidized apartments. Now we live in like a $200 place at this time. I went on a $500 phone bill. And back then, dude, and having no money, my mom wanted to kill me. I was in search of Scott Guerin.
Yeah, no Google, no internet.
Google, no nothing.
You're just randomly calling up bases?
Air Force bases, man. Calling up Air Force bases, man. Hey, do you know what Scott Guerin? What do you mean? I'm like, who's Scott Guerin? I'm like, he's a pararescueman. A what? Because, you know, a pararescueman, you know, there's not a lot of them. So I started getting, okay, there's a PJ base here, a pararescue base here. So I started tracking down pararescue bases. Finally, Key West, Florida. He's a scuba instructor down there in Key West, Florida. I leave a message. He calls back, gets a hold of my mom. I'm like, I cannot believe this guy called me back. My first question to him was, hey man, can I come stay with you for a week? He's like, who the fuck are you, man? He didn't know who the fuck I was. Right. The guy let me come stay with him for a week.
And that was, you were senior in high school?
I was a junior in high school. Mm-hmm. It was in my junior year, pretty much.
It's pretty amazing that he was open to that.
He was open to it. I think he said about 4 words to me in the entire week. We PT'd together, and I didn't need to hear a word from him. He didn't talk a lot. Uh-huh. He was an instructor. I would go to school or to scuba school with him. He would instruct. I'd sit on the couch for 10 hours. Sit in the lounge on the fucking couch for 10 hours. He'd come back, pick me up, we go for a run, he'd go home. We ate fish every fucking day because we had to go out in the ocean, you know, like I would go lobster hunting. I hate the fucking water, I was scared to death, but this guy went in, so I'm going in. And I left there with just one big thing. That's what I want to be. I want to be a guy like that.
Yeah, this desire within you to find like a strong, positive male role model for your life.
I was looking hard, man.
Yeah.